Hey up, boys and lady boys. We are 6 games into Championship now. We're 7 with some at League Ones, but that league is really taking shape. We're going to go through all fixtures again. Obviously, Cardiff are bottom at league at minute. Wednesday finally dropped into relegation zone where they belong. But it is taking shape a bit with certain sides. And as always, we'll start with Friday night or whatever that was, which were Stoke Hull. And obviously, last week we did that watch along, didn't we, for Hull Sheffield United, where Hull were absolutely dog shit. Like, really, really bad. And watching this, Stoke versus Hull, it was same again. All were crap. Don't get me wrong. They've won 3-1, but they were still really, really shit. But Stoke were equally as bad. It were two very, very poor teams going up against each other. It's like the stats are showing it. It's literally smack down middle, even both sides as crap as each other. But when Stoke are sacking Steven Schumacher, the Stoke side just looked lost. They looked like they had no sort of playing style at all. None of the players knew what they were doing. It was just a mess. It looked like all 22 blokes on this pitch had just been told, go out and win. Like there were no structure with anything. I couldn't tell what any type of team were trying to play. There was no style of football going on. Nobody had a clue what were happening. They just looked like idiots. That would look like blokes off street that had been picked up and said, "Come on, lad, just put a kit on and go do a job for us, please." That Liam Miller looked alright again for Hull. I don't know where Kamara is because I thought he was best player in first game, whether he's injured or what. I don't actually know. No, he's on bench. God himself only knows. I don't know why he's on bench because I thought he was the best player. But this is two teams that. They're nowhere near top. No chance. They're both really crap. It's two teams that are going to be in that sort of raggy fade down at bottom. You know what I mean? They're going to be scrapping. After that, we Saturday's games. Obviously, we'll go down in order again. Norwich bet Watford 4-1. Now, this is just two sides to me that I think are very, very inconsistent. Like, I can never make my mind up on them and what I actually think. Obviously, I'm only watching highlights of games like this because, yeah, it's half 12, but there are about 7 games on half 12, and you think I'm watching Norwich Watford, you've got another thing coming. I mean, to be fair, one thing you can always give this fixture is there's loads of goals, you know what I mean? But they're so inconsistent, both of them. Neither of them can put any sort of string of runs together with wins. Like, Norwich have gone and bet these 4-1, but they lost 1-0 away at Swansea last week, do you know what I mean? And they bet Coventry away a week before that. It's all over the place. Very good strike from Doyle, that centre-half for Norwich, by the way. I do think that Norwich's squad does look weaker than last season. I mean, I feel like it's just so easy to say that, but it does. It does look a lot weaker, especially in middle. But if you can go and put 4 at home past Watford, then happy days, you know what I mean? Because Watford have got a lot of experience in this side. As much as I think Watford are quite a bang average team as well, probably on bottom end, like Jebison up front and players like that. They have got a lot of experience in this side that would make you think they're not going to go and get smashed away at certain places like this. Because they started really well, Watford. Look, before the last 3 games, they were right up there. They were proper, seriously fighting near the top. I know it were only like 3-4 games, you know what I mean? It means no. But then, as soon as you start conceding a couple of games, they've had hard fixtures, to be fair, like Sheffield United, Coventry and Norwich, 3 fixtures in a row. But that shows where they are really, doesn't it? That they can't compete with sides that you'd expect to be up there. Whereas Norwich obviously can, because Blackburn have started well. These got a draw against Sheffield United, Coventry again, and then Watford. They only lost away at Swansea. Swansea are a dodgy side, you know. I mean, they've got a couple of wins recently, but they're so dodgy. I never know what to think of them either, but we'll come on to that. It's waffling. QPR drew 1 apiece with Millwall in a game where I think Millwall, for once, were very unlucky to not win. Normally, stats would probably be other way with Millwall. They just get dominated and somehow go and snag something. But I thought they were definitely the better side out too. And I forgot it might have been Uniman. A ball got slid across for him, like a literal tapping from about 5 yards into basically an open net, and he scuffed it wide, the donkey. Whoever it was, it might not have been Uniman. I might have just given Uniman loads of stick and it won't actually him. But somebody missed a sitter to take 3 points. And it's a decent point overall, isn't it? For Millwall, really. It's a better point for Millwall than it is for QPR. But again, I just think there's so many midwards. There is not enough oomph in a lot of these sides. There's so clearly a gulf in class between maybe like... To be fair, I'm only picking out maybe 4 or 5 teams that I'm actually impressed with for the most part this season. And these two are definitely not 2 of them, sadly. I want Millwall to be one of them, but they're not. Sunderland bet Middlesbrough 1-0 in what is one of the biggest one-way derbies there is. Sorry, Middlesbrough fans. I'm going to get shit about Barza Wednesday night, aren't I? But once again, I find myself sitting here saying same stuff every time. Middlesbrough are on better end at stats again, and again, they've not won. I ain't got a clue. It feels like they've just not got it in them to grind results out where they really need to. Don't get me wrong, they're not scoring enough. On conceding, and they're doing quite well. They've only conceded 5 in 6 games. It could obviously be better, like it could be a West Brom type. But to only score 6 in 5, when I think the attacking lineup is good. Like, players here are really, really good. They've got Aiden Anthony in middle as well, spreading it through to him. Why are they not scoring enough goals? See, this block turned into chuffing God in second half of last season. So what's happened there? But it's another win for Sunderland. 6 games, 5 wins and a loss, and they've only lost for away at Plymouth. Who, to be fair, Plymouth have done all right. To be fair, despite the loss that they had on Saturday, Plymouth have done all right as well. In fact, we'll come on to that in a minute. But Sunderland, obviously, a really good side. I think Middlesbrough are a good side as well. I expect, like I just said about golfing class between teams like QPR and Millwall and good sides. These two, compared to them two, it's just such a big difference, I think. Bristol City, obviously, beat Oxford in Liam Manning derby. They both started half decent, to be fair. Like Bristol City are conceding a lot of goals, which has got to be a worry, to be fair. But both of these will be sound. Like Oxford have started really, really good. The thing is with Oxford is the very one end or other out there. They need to maybe learn how to try and snag a draw. If you can't win, like you cannot win away at Bristol City, as they've learned probably stats wise, especially in second half. Like it's just all Bristol City. You've got to be able to learn to just try and take a draw, aren't you? Surely, rather than just going gung-ho for it all the time and trying to get wins. You've got to be able to grind results out sometimes, which is what will separate someone like a West Brom, who can snag 1-0s and 1-1s if they need it when they can't win. Stuff like that. Sheffield United when they got promoted like that. There's a lot of sides that build success on just being hard to beat rather than going and winning every game. Which, to be fair, Portsmouth, I think, will be one of them. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we're a Portsmouth league. I think the second bottom at minute. Yeah, the second bottom, 13 goals conceded. They've not won a game. Them and Cardiff are only teams who have not won a game so far. But when you look at the games that Portsmouth have had, these games, I don't think they could have had an harder start, honestly. Leeds away, Luton, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, West Brom, Burnley. That could be top 6. They could have played the top 6 in the first 6 games. And for them to have taken 3 points out of that, I think is a good start. Despite them being second bottom, they've got 6 of their hardest fixtures out at way. Once they get a run of games going where they're playing maybe like Hulls and Stokes and Prestons and sides like that, and they start getting a couple of wins on go, they'll be. I think they'll be all right. Portsmouth. They've rewarded Mousinho with a new contract, the manager, which is deserved. Is really, really good. And again, if they weren't going up against what is a Championship super team in Burnley, I think they've done well again. Like they've still got, it's basically the League One team that they got. Yeah, they spent a lot of money in League One to get a lot of the players in to get them up line, and they are going to get slapped, obviously stats wise. But to have only lost 2-1, I think that is good going. Generally, you can't expect to go to Burnley and win. Do you know what I mean? When you're a League One side with a League One squad, you cannot expect to go to this team that's been bought for about 200 million quid and expect to win. Give them a couple of games, Portsmouth, against sides that's going to be around them, and they'll start smashing results in. Speaking of crap teams, holy moly, Leeds. Wow, they are ass. No, unfortunately, Cardiff got a red card in 23rd minute, and then Leeds have just turned it into a training game. Like this, for an away game, if you're getting 80% possession away, something is wrong. Do you know what I mean? Which Cardiff have taken swift action anyway. They've sacked the gaffer, which they needed to, because my God. Like, how many goals they scored? They're still on 1 goal in 6 games. 1 point, and it were away at Swansea even in the big game. Fucking hell, that is a bad start. Minus 12 after 6 games. And in all honesty, they have had some hard games as well. But come on. Do you know what I mean? You can't start like that and expect to keep your job. Coventry next. I am losing the will to live with Coventry. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I expect them to do. But they just cannot function as a team without Ben Sheaf. They just can't do it. They are absolutely dog shit when they're not going to play. And it's genuinely as simple as that. Like across the board, there is not one player on here that looks like they've had a good game. Maybe right back. To be fair, he's really good most of the time. But not one of these lads look like they've played good. The defending for both of Swansea's goals were shocking again. Not overly surprising because they've changed one of the back 4 again, because Kitchen's now on bench and Bidwell's back in. They've constantly changed stuff like that, so they've never got to settle back 4. So I'm not really surprised that players don't really know where they're supposed to be. And with the amount of staff that Coventry have got, they've got more coaches than chuffing bus station, and they cannot structure something that can defend them goals. You go and watch them, they're absolutely shocking. Is it getting to like squeaky bum time? Obviously, the Robins is coming out that they're going to be shattered from playing Tottenham, and for the most part, they were good against Tottenham when I watched part of that game back. But there's no point making Tottenham look like Swansea and then making Swansea look like Tottenham afterwards and losing this. What's the point? And I can understand that maybe they're tired, but when you've got the attacking talent that Coventry have got and you've only scored 6 goals in 6 games, that's crap. That is not good enough at all. And if they lose the next couple of games as well, he might be in serious bother. As much a legend as he is, and Matt Robbins is a very, very good manager. We had him. I was lucky enough to see him manage us for a bit. He's a very, very good manager. But if you are losing this many games and you spend the money that Coventry have, you're expecting to probably be where Swansea are, at least. not down here in 19th. Looking at two Sheffield teams, obviously Luton bet Wednesday 2-1. Carlito Morris, car 9. Barnsley's finest getting 2. My hero. They have been seriously robbed Wednesday. So I will swiftly move on. Sheffield United bet Derby 1-0. Apparently Derby were really struggling. I watched it back and it is just all Sheffield United by the looks of it. And it's one moment of quality from best player in the league that's got to win. So, what can you even say? They've got a bloke that's worth about 50 million quid starting for him every week and he's put a free kick into top bins. But Derby just keep carrying on the tradition where they win every single home game and then turn into a dustbin away. They're crap away from home. But if they can just keep their own form up, they'll stay up anyway, apparently. So, and then with West Brom Plymouth, obviously a lot of time I put my talking point with West Brom is that they've got Carlos as manager, who's very good. But Plymouth, I think that is the best game that West Brom have been given so far. Plymouth looked really good. On highlights, that is. That's all I'm going off. And the stats and stuff like that, I don't know what people are saying. But Plymouth sounded to have played well. Maybe some people are starting to turn on Rooney the right way. So everyone's just got this assumption that they're dead and buried straight away. Me included. As soon as they make Rooney the manager. Plus Plymouth's team is crap, if we're being honest. The team is poor. The Championship, apart from like major standouts like Whittaker, plus Cooper as well, the best player's effectively gone. Like, it's not crazy to say that a bad team with a bad manager might go down, and a lot of Plymouth were getting their tails up about it, but they've gone here, and yeah, they've lost, which ultimately, this is the only thing that matters. You can have all stats in the world, only stat that matters is disappear, which is that they've lost game again. But if they're playing half decent early on, which they are, this one, I thought they did well to grind the result out against QPR on telly, that wasn't it? I thought they did well to grind that result out as well. They've played all right. And if they keep doing like that, they'll probably stay up. But again, I'm going to say it. Carlos is best manager in the league. His side aren't playing the best and they still won, which is the most important thing. He's got a fit number 9 who is going to score a ridiculous amount of goals. Because if he had DK fit, say if DK didn't have the injury problems that he's had, I think West Brom would have got promoted last season or probably the season before. Carlos is a fantastic, unbelievable manager for this level. Why nobody's still got him, I don't know. But having this number 9 now, and obviously Moat's coming into serious form, he's turned into Barnsley Moat him. These are in really good stead to probably go up. And then obviously on Sunday yesterday, there were Preston Blackburn, another shit derby. Where highlight for me is a bloke getting bit. There were a Suarez regen and he didn't even get sent off. The bloke that got bit got sent off. EFL refs, baby, welcome to the Championship. Obviously, as far as Lee's concerned, Cardiff have sacked the manager, but they'll get somebody in and end up finishing like 17th anyway, where in the Cardiff. It's just classic Welsh teams sitting in mid-table doing notes. Portsmouth will be fine anyway because they've played hardest teams in Universe. They literally couldn't have had a harder fixture to start. So when they start playing teams like Wednesday, they'll obviously stay up. Wednesday are in a little bit of bother, but for some reason, they still think they'll get playoffs. God knows. I'm just going to ignore two handballs and blatant rob that they got. What a result. You know what? I'm speaking about refs. Sometimes they deserve a bit of praise, and I feel like that Luton Sheff Wednesday game is one of them. Preston did well to hang on, to be fair, but a lack of goals is still a bit of a problem. Plymouth playing well, Coventry crap. A lot of these lads I don't care about. Luton have started winning a couple of games though now, so maybe they'll start shooting up a bit of confidence, you know what I mean? Blackburn still look like they've got a bit of a nosebleed being up there. Sheffield United, again, bit of quality winning up games, same as Leeds. Burnley, after that Leeds win, I think they'll probably bounce the Leeds win last week because this is going to give them some serious confidence knowing that they can go to probably hardest fixture in division, Leeds away, and get a win. Sunderland win again, and West Brom with Carlos. Brother, these fellas might just win league. West Brom with Carlos, a fit number 9, a really good squad, it just might be them. And as for League One, oh hell's bells is this league starting to take shape. I mean, apart from Wrexham, you're starting to really see your proper big sides at top. Birmingham, Barnsley, Charlton, Huddersfield, Stockport, your real superpowers of this league. Obviously, you've got Rotherham at bottom 4, Bolton are crap. But other than that, we're really taking shape in this division. And like a proper division, every single game are on Saturday. Not every game are at 3 o'clock because EFL and Sky are dogs. But Stevenage had to travel to Exeter for a chuffing half-12 kick-off for some reason, where Exeter have run game. I mean, some of these sides, right, in League One are so dodgy. Like Stevenage just trumped us 3-0. They're just arseholes 3-0. And then they go and lose away at Exeter. It makes no sense. Obviously, Lincoln and Wigan have drawn 0-0. That were the biggest draw ever drawn in the history of draws ever. Like, Wigan have got a really good point there. With the mess that they're in, realistically, they're so inconsistent, Wigan, which they're going to be. But Lincoln is a very, very tough place to go. There's a lot of teams that have been stuck in this division for a long time. No, Lincoln, one of them teams, you want to get them out of way early doors. I'm so glad that we went there and better when we did, because I never want to go there again. But it's two teams that are probably just going to miss out, I'd say, in the long term. Obviously, this is going to get a lot of talking about. Bolton have bet Reading 5-2, which Bolton hadn't scored a league goal since first game of season. The next 4, they'd not scored a goal. But the reason is that the next 4 games after the first league game, they've not been starting Lump. They've finally brought Lump back in, and they're at 5. Adebayo is probably he's going to be the worst finisher out of the 4 strikers that they've got. Dion Charles, McAtee, and Aaron Collins are all the same player. You need to start one of them next to Adebayo. It needs to be about who starts next to him. Not does Adebayo start. He should be first one stood there. His hold-up play is very good. He can pin a defender. He's winning everything. You can literally blast it into him from anywhere, and he'll probably touch it down for you. And you can just play second balls off him. That's what League One is. That is the blueprint to getting out of this shit division. Having somebody like him stood up front. And obviously then you're going to get your best out of somebody like Dion Charles, who can play off him next to him. He won't penalty. One of them, Adebayo. I think he might have won foul at first free kick. I can't remember off the top of my head. But then you've got a finisher like Dion Charles who can play off next to him, and he's going to get goals. Defensively, they looked a bit weak, but they were making best off set pieces, Bolton. And Reading, after a decent start that they've had, last couple of games have really not looked that good. Like, they bet Charlton here, didn't they? But losing 3 out of your last 4 league games after a decent start as well, and how good they looked against Birmingham. It's unlucky in it because it's not even the players' fault, it's just the higher-ups that have got them in this position and the stuff that they've had to deal with, all shit that's going on. But at least that drags Bolton out at bottom 4, so it's something. Next up, yours truly. We were crap. This game in general was crap. Everything about this were absolutely horrible. I was stuck on motorway. It literally takes about an hour from Barnsley to Burton, and we sat on motorway for 2.5 hours because one at Junction just shut, so that just set tone, really. And yet stats said that we were better side, and we weren't better side. But we created very little. I feel like that's wrong. Like, I never trust stats. I was there. Like, I do not trust that we had 13 shots. I thought we were really, really bad. But it's about grinding results out in it, obviously. And if you can't go and play your best, just get something. Just get something out of it. And we've scored from a really good free kick from Connell, a bit of quality from one of the best midfielders in the league. In the best midfield in the league. And then Humphries has come on and been a shithouse and lumped an header in 92nd minute or whatever it was. So I just love it. You know what I mean? We're going up. Nothing matters to me anymore. We're actually going up. Especially when I'm watching results come in when I'm there. And I'm seeing that obviously Wrexham and Birmingham are going to win. But you know what I mean? That we're given anyway. Effectively, Birmingham are going to win every game. But Charlton lost, Huddersfield lost, Stockport lost. You know what I mean? I will live in life. And Burton, they'll not go down. They're a decent side, Burton. I feel like, look, they've got a lot of draws. With the first, I mean, they lost the first game and then they lost to us. They've got 4 draws in the middle of that. Away at teams like Rotherham as well. Decent-ish side. Like Mansfield away will be an hard place to go. They've got a draw there. They're gonna be one of them that's hard to beat, and that'll probably stick them around 17th, 18th-ish, Burton. Next up, I give Steve Bruce a hell of a lot of stick when he first came in because he's fat and he's useless. However, they've won the first 2 league games with him in charge. So, what can you say? And Charlton away is going to be a tough game for even best sides in this league. Very, very tough game. Nathan Jones' teams are very hard to beat in general, and Charlton Valley's an hard place to go. Stats-wise, obviously, it's all going to be with Charlton, which you'd expect. But Blackpool's goals were very good. They were unlucky to not hit a third. I feel like if Charlton had been probably more clinical, they'd have got some artery. But Blackpool took the chances when they were there. Were whiskers away from getting a third when they hit post. They were probably the better side. Like, it's all right having all this possession and your shots, but if your possession's right back and your shots are from nothing, like you're just taking pop shots from places, they could have scored a couple, Charlton. But I don't think this result's too crazy. Blackpool just took the chance when they come. And then besides, they're starting to work out what Nathan Jones are going to be like in this league, because he'd not lost a game when he come in last season. He took like 16 games. Yeah, 10 of them draws, something like that. It was something ridiculous like that. But then this season, they've lost 2 league games already. They've drawn 1, which you'd expect of him. But they've lost away at Reading and then at home to Blackpool. Not really, I don't think, played many of like the super teams yet. Like, they're yet to play Barnsley or Birmingham or Wrexham or Stockport. Birmingham in league, that is. I knew they'd played it. As I said that, I know they've played them, but I meant in league, obviously. Played Bolton probably at best time to play Bolton when Ian Everett were a donkey and wouldn't start Adebayo. But again, they needed a clinical striker. Maybe if they'd have kept Alfie May, bloke who was top goal scorer last season, they'd have probably scored a couple more goals. But carrying on, Huddersfield 1, Northampton 3. We drew to Northampton to a piece, and that is the only fixture so far that I'm actually feeling a bit sick about from my point of view, because we definitely should have won. Northampton were really, really shit. against us, like really, really bad, and somehow drew to a piece with us. But the thing is with Northampton that, to be fair, they had that winger, didn't they? I forgot his stuffing name. Now they've had a winger for ages who's been really, really good, and the stats that he's putting up have been ridiculous for a team like Northampton. No disrespect to him, but you'd have thought somebody to come in for him, and I forgot his stuffing name. You'll all know what I mean. I'll think of it eventually. But they've got players like Sam Hoskins. Anyway. But they got Tyler Roberts on loan from Birmingham up front. Cameron McGeehan is a very, very good midfielder. So the Fosu were at Brentford and Oxford before. Some of the defenders are really good. They've got little bits of serious quality in the side now that you need if you want to be a proper side in this league. Obviously, first goal it's one of them ones. Tony Pulis is spinning in his grave. Huddersfield Town trying to play it out front back, and they've put ball in their own net. So it's literally it. I cannot believe what I'm even seeing half at time. Northampton could have not even been stood on pitch. They could have all been stood in their own half, and Huddersfield had still passed ball into their own net and given Northampton a goal by trying to play it out front back. As long as everybody in the Barnsley keeps doing it, I'm happy days, mate, because you're all shit. Where's Fat Lad anyway? Does Tubby Custard still play? Oh, it's come off bench, Herbie Kane. It's come off bench, so at least he's getting some minutes now. A little bit of bonus money for him, greedy fat bastard. It's a really, really good win for Northampton. And they've had some decent results to start with because they've had some hard fixtures. Obviously, Mansfield a bit Shrewsbury 2-1. Shrewsbury losing again at another side that you'd expect to be down near the bottom. Them and Cambridge just really, really not helping themselves. They're not picking points up against sides that they really need to, that are going to be round near the bottom. And Mansfield have got Lee Gregory, so he just keeps scoring. Despite being 45, he just keeps scoring goals. And I know damn well another one he'll get, because when the players in reverse fixture, on all that is holy, I summon Fish Morley, he will score a goal against us again at their place. I would put my life on it. He lives for scoring against us. Right, anyway, Peterborough bet Bristol Rovers 3-2. Yeah, it's a good win, but the difference I'm noticing this season with Peterborough compared to last is that Peterborough are not smashing teams out at Park. Like, they're not XG kings. They're not putting 3 XG up a game. They're not getting 80% possession a game. They're not battering everybody. They've conceded 21 shots at home to Bristol Rovers, which some of them are just like when you're getting a bit desperate near the end, because obviously in the second half Bristol Rovers were behind and they're just coming out and having to go for it. Conceding that many shots at home to a side that, again, I thought Bristol Rovers were absolute dog shit when we played them, and their only goal came from like a mistake from us. So I just don't think Peterborough are as good this season as they were last. But they have got still the core of the squad, the main players. Some of them are still there, like Collins, Cipriano, Poku, Jones, this lad from Altrincham who's started playing this young one. Just defensively, that obviously they'll look a mess, which they're going to do when they've got rid of what is 3 of the back 5 and they've conceded 9 goals so far. Dodgy teams, both of these. Really dodgy sides for League One. No fatty fist bumps again. Sadly, Steve Evans is on the end of another loss to the League One Galacticos. Rotherham 0, Birmingham 2. And to be fair, I think that's a flattering result to Rotherham, because Birmingham absolutely dicked them start to finish. Like, obviously, they were 2-0 up in 22nd minute, and in second half, they just took what they can, don't they? You know what I mean? They just come out, thought, you know what, we'll just keep ball. We'll not go for it that much. We'll save his legs. That's all they need to do. You know what I mean? They've won 5 in a row. They will probably go unbeaten now. Because I remember when I did my Birmingham video, I said, if they get off to a decent start, first couple of games, especially at home, they'll go unbeaten at home, I think. But there's a real chance that they might just not lose a game all season, honestly. They're just so much better than everybody. The recruitment's been really, really good. They've got different profile of players now for whatever they want. Like, Alfie May's on bench and he won Golden Boot in this league last season. You know what I mean? They've got Lyndon Dykes up front, who's a completely different profile of striker to Stansfield or Alfie May, depending on what they want. Ryan Leonard's on bench. The team's just a joke. It's an absolute joke. The squad's ridiculous. I just don't see how anybody can win against them. I don't know why anybody's going to get a point against them, to be honest. They might win. They're a super team. £20 million striker up front. Why am I surprised? Why am I saying this? I should just gloss over Birmingham every week. Just be like, oh yeah, they've won again because they've spent 30 million quid in League One. Shock. And Rotherham is shit. Moving on. Stockport lost 4-1 at home to Leyton Orient. And obviously they were unbeaten for the first few games, weren't they, Stockport? They won like 4. Well, I'm looking at it now. Win. Draw there. Oh, right, they won the first 3, but then they drew to Mansfield away, drew to Crawley away, and then lost to Leyton Orient at home. So they're 3 teams that you'd expect them to be getting wins against, that they're not. And listen, stats, I don't care about stats. I've lost 4-1. Stats mean absolutely nothing. You can have 19 shots, it don't matter, because you've had less shots on target than them, that they've only had 11. So the shots aren't of good quality. They're keeping all at ball. they've still. It's not like they've got injuries or anything. Looks for it, keepers had an outlet. You know what I mean? Next game, they're away at Barnsley on Saturday night. Big test. That's the first real seriously hard game, I think. Because Blackpool away at time weren't an hard game. It'll probably be a bit more difficult now. Steve Bruce is there and he's going to make them hard to beat. But they've had a favourable start. Stockport have. And so, to be honest, so have Barnsley. But they've had a favourable start. Saturday night against Barnsley, it'll be a real serious test for them. And Leyton Orient, who lost the first 4 games in a row, then go and win 1-0 away at Reading and then 4-1 away at Stockport. Funny old league, innit? Wrexham bet Crawley 2-1. Not surprising, to be honest. Obviously, stats are all going to be Crawley like the possession. Crawley are a very possession-based team. Wrexham definitely aren't. So this isn't surprising at all. But they have conceded 18 shots at home, Wrexham. So maybe Birmingham sort of set the blueprint we had to beat them, which is just spend 30 million quid. But I'm not going to let that game cloud my judgment. I watched the Wrexham-Birmingham game. Obviously, Birmingham, miles and miles the better side. But Wrexham's start has been really, really tough. And they've been winning a lot of games. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to take it away from them. I'm not going to say anything crazy. They started really, really good. The top of the league for a reason. Until Birmingham played the game in hand. But the top of the league for a reason because they're a good side. And then finally, Wickham and Cambridge. Cambridge, like I said, same as Shrewsbury. They're at bottom at league. They're just not doing it. Either they're not picking the points up that they need to. I don't see a world where these two get out. I really, really don't. Because the fixtures have been quite favourable for both of them, to be honest. And they're just really not picking enough points up. They're not scoring enough goals, conceding too many. Across board, they're just miles off it both from, sadly. And obviously, stats-wise, it's not like Cambridge are even in game. They're not going to win to. They're not going to wait to Birmingham here. They're not going to wait to Huddersfield. They're away at Wickham. Wickham are a good side. They've got a good squad, but you've just been slapped, massively slapped, start to finish. And you've got Gary Monk trying to play out front back with Cambridge players away at Wickham of all places. You're going away to the biggest time wasters in football history, the biggest rats. They're horrible to play against Wickham, and you're trying to play it out front back. Remember what you are, please, and you might stay up. But anyway, looking back at the league table, obviously Cambridge and Shrewsbury at bottom 2. Burton are at bottom 3, but I feel like they'll be alright and they'll probably get out. Rotherham are crap, obviously, and they've played 7 games and they're at bottom 4 with 1 win. But everybody calm down, because when they made the couple early signings, they brought 7 blokes in before anybody else had, so obviously they won't league then. Not just rushing to get a squad fit because the team that come down from Championship were horrendous and would have gone down again. Steve Evans, very overrated manager, and they've got a very overrated team, and the front line shit. Leyton Orient finally got a couple of wins under the belt now, so they'll be shooting up. Bolton have started at the Beajo. If they keep doing it, they'll be in top 6. Wouldn't surprise me if he never benches him, though, to be honest, because he's an idiot. Mid-table sides get no love. I don't care about any of you. Near top, Stockport, after winning the first 3, they outwon in the last 3. Huddersfield obviously trying to play out from back and be a fancy team, but they passed it into their own net. Charlton losing games this time. Barnsley, best team in league. Birmingham are also best team in league. It's all Wrexham. Wouldn't surprise me if that's... To be fair, that could be 5-year top 6 done. That could be a top 6 done. And just shove Bolton in there somewhere. But it's taking shape early doors and what you'd expect. But that's that, fellas. Thank you all for watching as always. I love you all. And I'll see you in a bit. And the rest are going up.